So every day that goes by, there becomes just a new dump of Andrew Tate snitching on himself. Now, the guy had his own pimpin' hose degree, the PhD course, all right? You know pimping is illegal, right? You know, especially in the UK, you know pimping is illegal. This guy told on himself at every turn. So you might have seen one or two videos that I've already done over the past week or so, week or two, about Andrew Tate basically telling on himself a bunch. Well, in this video, I'm going to go over the latest enormous batch of Andrew Tate snitching on himself clips and moments and just really embarrassing things. And we're now hearing that apparently there might be a murder involved in this situation. Andrew Tate's bottom bitch, all right, that girl Vivian, who allegedly was underage when he trafficked her all the way over to Romania from some random country in Eastern Europe, he's denying that that's what was going down, but it sounds like a lot of the charges and accusations against him are related to, you know, making illegal content and doing things with this minor, and she apparently was a young'un, all right? But what's even more crazy is that there's now a clip going around of her basically saying that she's seen a woman be choked to death by accident. And according to the allegations, Andrew Tate was doing the choking quite a lot of the time. It's crazy. So I'm going to show you a whole bunch of things that have been going around. But firstly, I want to start with another Epstein connection, okay? Because it's so ironic that everybody said that Epstein files, Epstein's disgusting. If Epstein wasn't dead, we'd finally be taking him to justice. Well, funnily enough, now that Andrew Tate's in trouble, he's pointing the finger going, oh, well, they didn't do anything to Epstein, so surely trafficking's legal, right? Like, trafficking's just cool. Anyone can do it. If Epstein did it, no. But apparently, rumor has it is that there are actually Epstein connections within Andrew Tate's circles. So he might just be a few degrees of separation from Epstein. This one's going around. This is apparently from the War Room. It says, here's Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's employee, Jacob Wohl, having a chat with Andrew Tate in the War Room about Ukrainian girls. Okay? That is insane. Look at this. This is an apparent chat. Tate's showing off some girls. He's saying, stole them from Odessa, which is in Ukraine, right? It's a war-torn area of Ukraine. That sounds like trafficking to me. It sounds like you're admitting to trafficking. Stole these girls. Okay, stealing girls. And Jacob Wall says, fortunately, there's enough women here for me to have more sex than Genghis Khan. And then people are posting in reaction clips of Tate, like, smoking his cigar. And this is crazy. So they're saying that this guy was an employee of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And he clearly knows his trafficking. The average Eastern European beauty is 60 to 70% Slavic, 30% mix of Baltic, Balkan, and Scandinavian. By the way, I custom wrote an application that runs on Tinder, automatically swipes on girls, hot versus not, also scanning for trouble words like feminist in the bio. Then DMs them automatically to message me on Instagram. It's just a way of having a constant stream of women DMing me on Insta. So it turns out the War Room, all right, Andrew Tate's War Room, which I guess was like the next level to his Hustlers University, sounds like it was Traffickers University. Sounds like it was a good old hangout for traffickers to share tips. And apparently this is a thing. Okay, people are saying, for those that don't know, the War Room was a grooming trafficking club that the Tate brothers started. They even held in-person trafficking classes with topics like isolation tactics for those paying the $5,000 plus War Room membership. What kind of people teach classes like this? Look at this clip, and there's a bunch of these. Bear in mind, this guy he claimed to be a pimp. He had a pimp in hose degree, and pimping is illegal. So is trafficking. This is insane. Look at this self-snitching. It's insane.
All the drama, she's got to have all the dreams. We'll talk about soul walking. Everything has to come from you. All of it. She should have no outside influences on any level.
Can you talk a bit about that? About how the restrictions and the boundaries you put on a woman in terms of who she can talk to, where she can go, these kind of things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about that, about how, like, you know, you do your trafficking and, like, how you take away people's free will and prevent them from, you know, exercising their own free will and doing their own thing and basically, you know, imprisoning them. Can you talk a little bit more about that, like your crimes? Like, talk a little bit about how specifically you do your crimes, could you? Yeah, absolutely. I'm very careful when talking like this. Why are you careful? What? Because it's crime.
So, you have to be very careful with this, and I'm very careful when I talk like this, because I don't want anyone to be autistic about it, right? But if you really want to truly soul walk a chick, she's yours. And when I say she's yours, I mean she's basically with you, her family, your family. That's basically it, right? If she has like a really
Do you think Justin Waller's fidgeting because he knows he's cooked?
strong social circle and she really insists on seeing them, they're going to have a big influence over her. And it is in your best interest to get her away from that social circle.
It's in the best interest to get her away from her social circle because they'll have influence over her. What? Because they don't want her to be the victim of a crime that you're committing on her. Oh, okay.
So we're trying to soul walk her, right? We don't want her out, whoever saying whoever. And then women can't shut the fuck up either. They'll talk your business. They'll give their side of the story only. You're a bad guy now. My husband wouldn't do that, even though the bitch is lying just to try and flex. You know what I mean? It gets in their head, right? So you have to try and isolate them from those things. And things we've talked about thus far, like selling the dream, adding excitement, her never catching you slipping, all these things tie into isolating her and taking her away from the outside influences. Every outside influence is trendy. All of them. So when it comes to Sterling, there's certain hard rules, right? We don't let your chick hang around dudes. That's a hard one. That's an obvious one. If she's going to insist on hanging around dudes, she's not going to be a chick. She's everyone's chick, right? That's the first one.
She goes back down to Tristan's frame of the hoe.
Yeah.
So from main chick, side chick, all the way back down to the bottom of the hoe.
And there are hoes. There's some chicks I know, they're just hoes. I got some chicks who are fucking 15 out of 10. They're beautiful. I bang them every time I see them. But I know they do shit with being hoes. I don't fall off them. I get for hoes. Hoes are hoes, right? So you have to keep that friend.
Hoes are hoes. You sound like a pimp. You sound like an illegal pimp doing illegal business of pimping.
But in terms of like isolating them from the friendship, it's not actually that difficult to do. Because women, people always talk about women being mystery. I will hard disagree with that. I think women will tell you anything you fucking want. You start posts out, they can't shut the fuck up. You can't shut the fuck up. You can sit there. Next time her friends come over.
Okay, so that's great. That's really good. We'll put that in the evidence locker for you admitting to your crimes. Brilliant. Okay, so next up, all right, not that I'm particularly fond of Sneeko, but Sneeko, you know what I'm saying, this broken clock is definitely being right a couple times each day. And Sneeko basically is reacting to more examples of Tate snitching on himself. And, you know, shout out to Sneeko for bringing this to our attention, even though he was gobbling these guys up, all right? Back in the day when it suited him, now it doesn't suit him. He's hating on them. But, you know, a lot of us thought Andrew Tate was a creep from the start. It says, Sneeko reacts to Andrew Tate bragging on the Nelk podcast about manipulating lonely men into falling in love, taking out loans, and even selling their homes for his camgirl business. Now, what you're going to hear is Tate talking about committing fraud. This is actually fraud. Andrew Tate, so what I did is I unplugged their keyboards and plugged a new one in for me behind the screen. So the chicks would sit there and hit a keyboard that wasn't even plugged in. Me and my brother, eventually, some staff I trained, did all the talking. We were taking their money, all of it. Let's just hear what they have to say, because we can see this in its full explanation.
So what I did is I unplugged their keyboards and plugged a new one in from me behind the screen.
Ooh.
So the chicks would sit there and hit a keyboard that wasn't plugged in. And me and my brother, and eventually some staff I trained, would do all the talking.
Oh.
The girls were just famoosers, just laughing and doing this, their titties out. And they were talking to fucking ice cold hustlers.
Ice cold. This is what the Matrix fears. Yeah. Jerk off. Yes. You're coming now. I'm a hot girl.
I'm not going to lie to you. I was wondering whether or not I should even say this, but I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it very carefully. I don't have any problem with anybody's sexual preference. If you're gay, if you're straight, if you're anything else, if you're any other gender, I really don't have a problem with it. You do you. All right? I don't have a problem with it. But at the end of the day, Tate is the icon of masculinity. He's so straight. He hates anything gay. He's always talking about this is gay, that's gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay, but sexting men is kind of gay. Like Andrew Tate over here sexting men.
The Matrix fears traditional masculinity. Come now. I'm so horny right now. Ha ha.
We were taking their money, all of it. If they...
Helping guys nut is kind of gay. Nothing wrong with that, Tate. There's actually nothing. I don't judge you. That's okay. And I'm sure you're going to do great in the federal detention center. But like, bro, you helping dudes get a nut.
They come and say, well, what kind of... Bro, all of it. We fucking...
Yeah, dude, that's so base.
Women and...
Everyone at the Nelk was, yeah, sick, bro. Yo, you made guys hard? Dude, that's like super full send, dude.
They come and say, well,
yeah.
all of it. We were fucking milking them dry. Women and...
We were milking them. We were milking their cocks all day long in the PhD.
Clue how to...
Look, I don't rate Sneeko, right? But he on point with this one. I might need to move myself so you can see him, because the way he... that last one sent me full... Just that, right? But it's like, yo, like, you know, you take a stone cold hustler, you put him in a women's avatar. What? Wait, Tate, what are you trying to say? You say you dress them up like a woman. I could dress up like a woman. I could make a guy... wait, Tate, wait. You said what? You said, I just make myself into a, you know what I'm saying? I doll myself up. I make myself look like a sexy woman. I make these guys nut. I'm milking them dry, dressed like a woman. Like, what? wait. You're pretending to be a woman milking guys dry. All right. Nothing wrong. I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. All right.
Cold nutting. ice cold flirting. Women can't even make guys come as well as Tate can.
Things, loans, all of it to me. Give me it all.
Making them do loans. Oh, you doing fraud. Oh, you doing illegal fraud? You doing illegal fraud? Forget about you milking guys dry. That shit's that's crazy. All right. You doing fraud. You convincing the guys to send money and take out loans and sell their houses and milking them for millions. It's so funny, right? Because how many times have we heard this clown talk about masculinity? We need to stop guys from being simps. Except when I'm dressed up as a woman with the blonde wig on and I'm pretending it's me and I'm milking them dry. Like, this guy is just a fraud through and through from start to finish.
So doesn't care, didn't apologize. Apologize for the song, but saying he made guys lose their houses, bro. White guys using white women in Europe, in Romania.
He did. I don't think he said white, to be fair.
Their mortgage, and he doesn't even care. Bragging about it. This is what the Matrix is. I feel bad because we have Happy Dad, bro. Like, you can't feel bad at the people you're turning into alcoholics, because I do it right now. Before he got locked up too, Andrew Tate said that I tried to have sex with him. This guy. He knows, and he's admitting publicly he's the best at manipulating dudes to make them horny. And you believe, I don't think anybody still believes this, but that was the lie. That was what, and then people are going to get on their high horse about Me Too, about political persecution, about false allegations. Tate's a victim of the Me Too movement. He tried to Me Too me. He did what he's crying about right now. The reason why he's locked up, he tried to do to me. He was making guys fall in love with him.
Sending crazy money, and they were
I can't lie. Sneeko winning me over with this one.
convinced they were going to meet the chick. This is almost where I kind of felt bad, because they were like, "Can we meet? I've sent you $200,000. Can we meet? Can we meet? Can we meet?"
And this is the perfect example of ego will be your downfall. If you have charges pending, if you have an active case, why would you go on this podcast at the height of your cancellation and say this? Where is the benefit? How does this help you out? But he can't help guys commit suicide. This is what drives people to.
I can't lie, bro. Sneeko cooked with that one, all right? Look, I'm not the biggest fan of some of his opinions, and I do feel like he flip-flop on Andrew Tate when it suited him. Where was all of this when it was Daddy Tate and you was rolling around doing all this? Doing the reverse Rock Nation in front of the courthouse and shit. But, okay, but that was hilarious, and he's on point with this one. I'm not going to lie. He was actually on point with that one. So let's continue down the wormhole of self-snitching depravity, okay? This is some more quotes from the Traffickers University, the War Room, where he's basically just doing more bragging about trafficking, and basically he admits that he's evil, all right? He said, "You literally trafficked women and bragged about it. I almost sound evil," all right? This is another element. Since she moved, she's been fed, but nothing else. And then he posts the messages. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. It says, I think it says VPN for the new phones. What does that say? Did it take the money? Did it take the money? VPN for the new phones. Oh, man, that's too small. Can I zoom into that? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Let me just try and zoom again. Basically, this is VPN for the phones. He's isolating this woman. It says giving phone, then going. Let's say do check cars that are outside. Ibis, maybe it's at a hotel. It says Yasmin has no money, right? What she something about being broke? What she said about being broke? Yes, she was waiting for you to give her a card. He says, I'm sure the man. He said she's mentioned having his cash. Yeah. I think it says she hasn't said it straight, but she was asking for something. Asking for I don't know what details, maybe, or something. So he said another element. Since she's been moved, she's been fed, but nothing else. She's broke and she can't go home and she can't leave the house. Man, I almost sound evil, but I'm not. I'm a shepherd leading the sheep. She doesn't realize that following me makes life better from her. That's trafficking. I've trafficked her. She can't go home and she can't leave the house. And we're going to say there's no evidence. There's no evidence on the Tates. This is evidence, but I'm seeing looks like evidence to me. So it goes on to basically say, I'm going to shoot for work, need to have her very committed to combat these convictions. And someone said, yeah, that isolation is critical. This is PhD warden, all right? Traffic warden. I have no experience in this realm yet, but I would try a good cop, bad cop ruse, act deeply hurt by her refusal, flip it on her, and get her to start feeling guilty or cry. Yeah, manipulate her, right? Make her feel sad. Then I'll have my bottom bitch ask why she's upset, tell her how religious she used to be and how easy and fun camming is. Again, never had to do anything like this, but maybe it works. Again, no idea what the fuck I'm doing, but why don't you try this torture and manipulation technique on one of the girls you're trafficking? Tate, the king trafficker, he says, close, I'm going to add a layer of separation. We'll use Geo as the bottom bitch and pretend I don't care either way, and she can attack me for tricking her, scamming, frauding, trafficking her. She looks super adamant about not doing this, even made bullet points. I still bet yes because you're a G, but it would be super impressive to see it in action. She knows already you F other girls. He said yes. And then this is apparently a massive message from her, I guess, saying that she doesn't want to do webcamming. She doesn't want to be trafficked and forced into S work by Andrew Tate. He says, forced or anything but because I wanted and felt myself that it's the right thing to do. At the same time, I have a few things, very few, but rules that I can't break, bruh. Because I'm old-fashioned, I do believe in God. I've never sent a picture of me in lingerie ever. I made a promise to God and myself that I will keep it. I will never do video chat or OF because my body is intimate and only my husband should be able to touch and see. If I give you my love, I'm expecting the same thing back. The man I love should not hit me or beat me up. And this is it. If these 4 things are respected when it comes to me, there's no way we can have a fight. You're with the wrong man, love. That's actually heartbreaking because this is a man that will allegedly do that and cross all your lines. I listen when I have to. I'm quiet when I'm supposed to. I'm definitely dedicated on being a good wife, waking you up in the morning with fresh coffee and a meal. All yours and forever. This is the way I was raised. Had this on my heart the whole day, so I had to say it. You're the perfect man for me and the man that I've been dreaming to meet and have a family with since I was a kid. Now it's your turn to decide if this thing's changed the way you see me or if I'm still the woman you want to spend your life with. I do. Do you? This is the lover boy method, all right? I'm so in love with you, I just don't want to do webcam, all right? Update on the 2 girls living together. If anyone doesn't know the story, ask the guys here to find it for you. So, I told my girl to send me a picture and she said this. Sounds like a hard target for cam or OF, right? So let's take bets. Will I get her to work? Anonymous poll. No, too much hassle. F that bitch. Yes, somehow. He's in here doing votes, doing a poll, doing a sweepstake on if he can convince this woman to be trafficked. Literally bragged about it, right? So it's crazy. So in addition to that, there's more evidence of him telling on himself. He apparently outright threatened to R-word somebody. Apparently, in the WhatsApp messages that were found on his phone, he sent to one of his accusers that had accused him of the R-word, said, I might R-word you again. And said, as Tate was being arrested, he attempted to hand his phone to one of his security guards, but it fell on the floor and was picked up by a marshal. Wah, wah, wah. For those who continue to defend this guy, yes, we all believe in the concept of innocent till proven guilty. These messages may not be a conviction, but surely you can see what an utter lowlife he is. Facts. So, this is what's interesting. This was his original response when his bottom B, Vivian, was exposed for being a young'un. All right. It said, he basically said, this is what Andrew Tate posted when people pointed to proof of, including of Andrew himself, claiming that she was a minor. A month later, he was charged with allegedly trafficking her as a minor. He never did produce her passport. At the time, he said, let them post she's 14, so when I bring her and her passport to court, everyone's paying me. Everyone. Well, it's going to be tough, right? Because we've seen this.
Got my main bitch, my bottom bitch, Vivian. Vivian's younger. So yeah, that's how it started. I met Vivian in Slovakia. We had a long-term relationship thing. I was living in England. I moved her to England to be with me to start doing my webcam company. When I bring on new girls, I usually pair them with Vivian. Because Vivian's younger. Vivian's like 21. So Vivian's been with me 6 years. She's completely head over heels in love with me. She wants kids with me, everything. So Vivian's been with me 6 years. Vivian's like 21. Vivian's younger. I'm fucking all these 16-year-old women or 18-year-old women, whatever the law is. Got my main bitch.
Whatever the law is. This guy said there's no crime, there's no evidence. He doesn't even know the laws he's breaking. You know pimping's illegal, right? Forget the minors. But basically, he's talking about, yeah, you know my main girl Vivian that I trafficked from Slovakia when she was a minor and got it and convinced to be in love with me using the illegal lover boy method of trafficking. You're a fucking idiot. Okay, this guy is a moron and he's cooked, all right? When are we going to wake up to this? So there's some very damning and explicit evidence from the Romanian case files. I want to be careful what I show you and tell you on this. I'm going to give you guys a trigger warning. I don't condone any of the things that I'm going to mention in this. I might even just skip this, to be honest. I don't condone I don't condone any of this. I'm telling you this for journalistic purposes to give you a full picture in the public interest of what is being discussed in this case that is currently going to be playing out in the public courts. It's in the public interest for you guys to know this, to warn you guys about these trafficking methods. Don't condone them. Don't support them. I condemn Andrew Tate. I think he's a piece of dirt. His actions are abhorrent, and I'm only telling you this for documentary purposes, and there's going to be some tough themes coming forward. I'm hoping that makes it very clear my position on this, because I've been in trouble with YouTube recently, because apparently I'm the same as an abuser by talking about these things and reporting on them and holding these people to account, which is nonsense. But anyway, with all of that in mind, okay, it says, for people openly defending the Tates and insisting they shouldn't even face trial, let's not forget the extensive evidence uncovered and released during the still ongoing Romanian investigation. The prosecution recovered conversations between Tate's alleged victims discussing alleged abhorrent acts on a underage person who refers to it as when I was little, as in a little girl. The prosecution alleged she was 3 years under 18. This isn't TikToks or uncomfortable political statements making some corrupt government that want to take him down. These are conversations found on the phone of a young woman in Romania as part of an extensive case file. Tell you what, I'm going to observe these and I'm going to tell you some things, and then what I'm going to do is I'm not going to read it in its exact entirety because I don't want to get in trouble. But basically what this says is the Romanian court made the following observation regarding Andrew Tate and a victim that's 3 years under 18. The judge shows that unlike the other defendants, besides the fact that he was the leader of the criminal group with no act, I haven't seen this is mental. No activity took place without Tate's agreement or knowledge as the leader of the criminal group. In this case, there's a reasonable suspicion the defendant had illegal relations with somebody 3 years under 18. The effects of these SAs were still being felt in the victim's psyches. Aspects that result from the conversation of the named blank with another lady. Somebody said, and you take her so young, you fool her and make her your slave. F you. And anyway, think about it, bro. When I was little, I did bad stuff. He did bad. I can't even say. He did really bad stuff. Man, this is fucked up. I was telling him, stop, bro. Well, that's what I'm saying. I already have so many regrets. I can't anymore. Man, this is so bad. I'm not going to say. They're saying he did something physical that made her lose consciousness. And then did other things. Yeah, no, that's fucked. That's fucked. So after that, there's another segment. It says the plaintiffs have tacitly admitted that the present case is part of their strategy to avoid prosecution in Romania by harassing the Jane Doe into recanting her testimony. That's horrible. For her to be subjected to that stuff as a young'un and then to be harassed into recanting her testimony is disgraceful. The plaintiffs and their counsel stated that they believe what happens in this case influences the Romanian criminal case. For example, so I'm guessing this is a civil case against her. For example, Tristan Tate has publicly stated on social media he plans to use this case to prove he's innocent to the public, regardless of whether he's convicted in Romania. And then it's got tweets of basically a full 14-minute breakdown of how important his Florida decision is to his case. Also a message to the Romanian authorities what it means to the country. Plaintiff's attorney Danny McBride explained in the interview that his goal is deposing Jane Doe so she drops out of the Romanian. This is disgusting. This is so horrific. I can't believe what I'm reading, and this is insane. So there's another segment here. It says related to the same aged and the same victim of the same age, that Tate is also criminally charged for trying to bribe her in order to change her phone with a new phone provided to him before going to speak to the prosecutors and lying to them. This is a quote of the statement she gave to prosecutors. According to the order, the redacted age victim Andrew Tate is alleged to have done bad stuff to was named blank and is quoted. Also, I specify that when we did adult stuff, Andrew was often aggressive with me in the sense that he, I'm not going to say it, but physically harmed to the point where I wasn't unaware of, you know what I'm saying? It's horrible, awful stuff. Okay, I'm going to move on. I'm going to really insult Andrew Tate in this next bit because I think it's really funny to just explain how horrible he is and why he is so disgusting. And part of it is his despicable shit stain of a father. So Andrew Tate's father, right? This is interesting. This is his hero. Says the Tate's dad was crap. He apparently was abusive towards the mother, including serial cheating and physical abuse. He was gone for months at a time on gambling junkets, often unemployed for long periods where the mum had to scrape and scratch to keep food on the table. Imagine the hard-suffering mum that had to deal with these two clowns, and they're idolizing the father, All right. And then to see the way that they grew up to treat women is despicable. Tate said that his dad used to tell him stories about how he abused and beat women, and the women still loved him anyway. They took all of their dad's malfeasant behavior and created superimposed a fantasy superhero dad in their heads that was some kind of uber masculine, swashbuckling Don Juan chess master genius hustler. They were mimicking a faux masculinity fantasy, living a vicarious version of a sick man. I'm hearing their dad was just a fucking loser. He had no bread. He was broke. He was living off these chicks, never around for his kids, abusive, just a real piece of shit. And it's funny, right? Because now he's saying, now that he's locked up, he's chatting about, he's talking to his dad. All right. He's talking to his dad in his head. He's losing it, talking to his shit stain of a dad. This is so funny. We walk back and forth in the cell together all day long. I haven't heard him so clearly in years. He's been in here since the day I arrived, and dad tells me to never give up. Dad was never around when he was fucking alive. Now he's popped up. Now he's popped back when you need him, right? Like, where was he when you was a kid? Where was he for your mums? Like, your dad was a fucking loser. And it's so funny, right? Because all of this is so funny, right? Listen to this. He loves his dad, his idol of a father who's a fucking loser, right? He idolized his father so much. He didn't even go to his dad's funeral. He was too busy trafficking women to go to his dad's funeral. This is true. He admits this. He said, I was too busy trafficking hoes to go to my own idol of a father's funeral.
Do I fly to his funeral? And then what's going to happen is I'm going to blow all my money. I'm going to be away for weeks. These girls are new. They're going to vanish. They're in Romania on their own. They don't know anyone here. They're going to want to go.
All the girls I've trafficked are going to escape if I go to my dad's funeral, so fuck it.
They don't know anyone here. They're going to want to go home. Or do I suck it up and focus on my business?
Focus on my trafficking.
They're going to vanish.
I got to focus on my trafficking. This guy is a clown. So look, this is the part you've all been waiting for. This is the craziest thing. Actually, no, sorry. Yeah, no, this is the craziest thing. I'm going to get the right link. So this is his bottom B, who apparently was trafficked from Slovenia when she was a young'un to the UK. And I have a high suspicion that this is going to be a lot of what the UK charges about this woman. And it's sad because she's a victim, but I feel like she is, unfortunately, as we've seen in the Jeffrey Epstein case of a lot of his girlfriends, she's a victim who then went on to victimize other people on his behalf. And it's very, very sad. But anyway, all right, people saying this is Vivian. Andrew Tate groomed her when she was 4 years under 18. She casually mentioned how she witnessed guys accidentally killing women by choking them. She jokes about words, then bops her head to the music. She's disassociating and very mentally messed up at this point. Now, before I play you this, when she says she witnessed guys accidentally killing women by choking them, who do you think she's talking about? And then cast your memory back to the fact that she was rocking with Tate when she was a minor, all right, and was trafficked from, Slovakia? So she ain't got too much other experience, and we know that Tate is controlling that his girls aren't allowed to talk to other men. So who do you think she's talking about when she says she witnessed guys? How many guys do you think she witnesses in this context? Not many, I would imagine. I wonder who she's talking about. Listen to this.
That's the reasoning behind why some girls don't like it, because they're scared they're gonna die. I've actually seen some guys accidentally, how funny is that? Accidentally kill their girlfriends during the sex because they were choking them that hard.
That was chilling. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And how many other people do you, like, you're apparently not, like, he doesn't let these women out. He traffics them and then locks them in the house. He can't even attend his own father's funeral because he said he said they'll escape if he goes to his own father's funeral. It's absurd. And so she's talking about, I've seen guys accidentally kill their girlfriends, and then we're hearing all this testimony that he's choking all of these, like, a bunch of these women are getting choked out. It's just horrific. And I think, I wonder, I'm going to do another video on this, but I believe there is actually evidence of Tate basically sort of jokingly saying that he's like got a body or something. Look at this video, right? Sure, he sounds like he's joking, but realistically, who jokes like this? We've heard a lot of people make jokes that turned out to be true.
You may do it with the little controller. I'm doing it out here for real on the street.
So you're playing like Fortnite for real?
Life is a video game.
Andrew, have you ever killed someone?
What's this Twitch, bro? I can't be saying certain things on Twitch.
So that's a yes.
Not a yes, it's not a no. You may do it.
It's not a yes, it's not a no. Okay. So it just makes you wonder, right? Obviously, this guy been a flight risk, okay, because he's been ducking alleged charges. But it's like, when I start seeing that he's got 7 passports, it starts to make me think, like, bro, you might actually have a body. Like, you might actually be a murderer. You might be a whole murderer out here and just be covering it up. It's like, clips like this are the reason why the Tate twins are considered a high-level flight risk, and they've been cited in the legal documents filed against them. This is crazy.
I have 7 passports. I have 15 driver's licenses. So let's say I'm driving
my car and the police stop me, I'll just pull out a license from some random country. I'm in Romania, I'm driving a Slovakian plated car, I've got an American driver's license, I've got an Estonian passport, and I'm speaking English. Like, you think they're gonna take my license, or they're just gonna look at me and go, just slow down, bro, bye. If the paperwork's not worth it for them. I like the idea of freedom, and freedom is basically achieved by having enough documents so that no one country can stop you from moving.
He's honestly, like, I don't know for sure. He's got murderer energy. And look, I don't know this 100%. I'm going to dig into this a little bit more. But I just swear I remember in his heyday, he had some clip where he's talking about being tapped in with the Romanian mafia and gangsters in Romania and all these casino business he's got going on. Like, I swear there's an old clip where he's talking about, you know, like, as a man, sometimes you got to go to war. Sometimes you got to have someone killed or something like that. Like, I don't know. I just wonder. I'm not saying outright that he definitely has murdered anyone. I definitely don't want to say that. I don't want to get in trouble. But just in my opinion, he looks like somebody that could be capable of catching a body, and I think it's just chilling to now look back at all of this stuff that he has said and done, and I just think it's really scary. He should not be idolized. He definitely shouldn't be supported, and he's going to get cooked. He's going to get sent back to the UK. He's going to get extradited to the UK, and he's going to get absolutely cooked. And I'll let you guys know how that all goes down, because I will be there, you know what I'm saying, knife and fork in hand, just ready to observe the cooking, and you know I'll be ready to eat. So that's that on Andrew Tate. I'm going to do another update on another topic for you guys before I go to bed. I might do another David update, because I actually found loads of interesting stuff to talk about related to David over the last few days that I want to kind of square away and just set the record straight about a few things. I will have some other topics soon, but for now, guys, stay tuned. I'll keep you guys posted on anything new that happens. But for now, I'm out. Thank you for watching. Peace.